Bon dia, good morning, bonjour. I hope you had a good night and you're ready for another great day of AFPIF. This morning we are honored and I have a pleasure to say that we have a very good gathering for the official opening session of the conference. We have, I think, four people here for the opening. I would like to introduce them very briefly before I give the possibility for the first speaker to say something to us. At the far right, you have Mr. Raúl Echeberría, who is Vice President of Global Engagement of the Internet Society. Then you have Professor Orland Quilambo, who is Rector Eduardo Mondlane University. Then you have Her Excellency Dr. Manuela Rebelo, Vice Minister of Transport and Communication. And at the left, you have Dr. Chicoco, COO, National Communications Institute of Moçambique. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Raúl Echeberría, Vice President of Global Engagement of Internet Society, to say a few words to us. Thank you.
Oh, it's working. Bom dia, todo mundo. Vou aproveitar que estou aqui.
Good morning, everybody. I'll seize the opportunity to practice my Portuguese since I'm here in Mozambique. I would like to excuse myself to the translators because I don't yet have a translator from Spanish. I'm very pleased to be here in Mozambique once again. And I've been here for the last time 10 years ago, and now that I'm back, I found the country that's completely different, and it pleases me to see the great progress that this country is actually going through. Thank you very much to the Mozambican authorities. Thank you, Excellency Deputy Minister Dr. Manuela Rebelo, for welcoming us here in Mozambique. And thank you, Universidad de Eduardo Mondlane, for all the efforts, all the endeavor to organize this meeting, working with us, with the International Internet Society here in Maputo. And I want to thank also Antonio Godinho. I don't know where he is. Antonio, somewhere over there. He is the individual who has been working directly with us in preparing the organizational component of this meeting. It is a great pleasure for us to have the opportunity to work with this team. And I would like to thank also His Excellency, the Rector of the Chancellor of the University, because really I want to thank you endlessly on behalf of the university, because you really mean a lot for the global community, both in Africa as well as the Mozambican community specifically. Dr. Emma Chicoco, I would like to thank you also as you represent the government of Mozambique for being very helpful towards this process. But now I will try to speak in more common language to other people, so I will now switch into English.
A great meeting. Is once again we are here. Thanks to our host and our sponsors. Without the support of our sponsors, it would have been impossible to have this meeting. This is the 6th African Peering Forum that the Internet Society is organizing. The first one has had the participation of around 100 people, and now in this meeting we have more than 200. This is just one of the indicators of the success of this endeavor. This endeavor that is led by our African team, the African Bureau of the Internet Society, led by Dawit, that is around. Where you disappeared, Dawit? Dawit. Michuki, that is somebody that's who doesn't need any introduction because all of you know him very well. Many other people is involved in this in the organization of this meeting. All of them deserve our recognition. When we started this program in the Internet Society, the Internet Traffic Exchange 6 years ago, the situation in Africa was absolutely different. We set a goal at that time that for 2020 we expect to have 80% of the African traffic period locally in Africa, within Africa. It seemed a very ambitious goal, and some people say this is impossible. And now we are seeing that we are in the right direction. We are in the right path. The fact that 99% of the content that is consumed in Africa is imported is really an extra challenge for the accomplishment of this goal. In those 6 years, we have organized more than 75 IXPs workshops around Africa in more than 30 countries. We have trained more than 1,000 engineers in traffic exchange and how to improve the exchange through the adoption of best practices. We have provided technical assistance or donation of equipment to more than 10 IXPs. And we can see now that in these 6 years, we can appreciate a lot of changes in the Internet in Africa. We have moved from 7% of penetration of the Internet 7 years ago to more than 20% now, what is a very good news. It's a time of opportunities. The Internet is growing very much in Africa at this moment. We are in the right way for closing the gap, but the challenge is still very big. We still have 80% of the people to connect. The traffic that is peered through the IXPs, only through the IXPs, and there are a lot of more peering that is done just by contract between 2 or more parties, but only taking the traffic that is peered by through the IXPs, currently it means 60 gigabits. It means that every second there are 60 gigabits that are being peered somewhere in Africa. If you think in these terms, it's a really impressive. It's a really impressive number. This is not enough, but it's a situation that is absolutely radically different of 6 years ago when the traffic period in Africa was close to zero. In these years, we have also seen the appearance of a lot of new IXPs. And there are 11 new IXPs in the last couple of years, and there are also a lot of people working in new endeavors for creating new IXPs in their countries. This is really an amazing situation. And as I say, it's a time of opportunities and time for challenges. This week has been very important for us here because we have also taken advantage of this meeting for doing some other activities around. Last week we had all the week a workshop on IXPs that where participated 18 engineers from Moçambique that was lectured by our colleagues from Brazil. Thank you very much for coming here, for helping on that. And this makes a difference. So we have now 18 more engineers that have been trained on how to improve the traffic in Africa. And we also took advantage of this opportunity of this meeting for organizing activities with our chapters. And we brought from different parts of Africa people representing 27 Internet Society chapters. and it has been an incredible experience working together with the same with the same vision. As I always say, the chapters of the Internet Society represent all the diversity of the world, but unified by a single vision, that is, the Internet is for everyone. A lot of work to do. We are in the right path. Thank you, because you are really the people that deserve all the credits for the work that is being done in Africa. And we are very proud, the Internet Society is very proud to serve you as a platform for you to come, to meet, and to work together. And we plan to continue doing that for a long time. And I'm very happy to say that. So we have had very good meetings here in Mozambique, for example, with Professor Massingue, that is here in the first row, recognized broadly as the father of the Internet in Mozambique. We have discussed it yesterday. We started to drink a coffee together, and in 5 minutes we realized 10 or 15 opportunities of collaboration between the Mozambique community and the Internet Society. The same happens everywhere where we are going, and this is our mission, to work with you, trying to bring the Internet to everyone, but not any Internet, an Internet that is useful as a platform for supporting the human, social, and economic development, and also a platform for the exercise of human rights. Thank you very much. Thank you. Again, the university, for all the support that you have provided for receiving us in this meeting, and thank you to the government and to the people of Mozambique for receiving us here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Raúl. I would like to invite now Professor Orland Quilambo, Rector of Eduardo Mondlane University, as Raúl indicated, who is our local host here in Mozambique.
Muita tecnologia aqui em volta.
A lot of technology around here, so I have to kind of organize myself. So, good morning, everybody. Your Excellency, the Deputy Minister of Transport and Communication, Your Excellency Raúl Echeberría from the Internet Society, Your Excellency, the Chairperson of the Mozambique Communication Institute. My name is Professor Venancio Massingue. I represent the Internet community and also the CEO of the ICT in Mozambique. Your Excellencies, members of Eduardo Mondlane University, dear guests, dear engineers, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Eduardo Mondlane University, I would like to welcome all of you, mainly those who came from abroad, in this African Peering and Interconnection Forum that is taking place here in Maputo, hosted by Eduardo Mondlane University. I would like to commend the Deputy Minister of Transport and Communication, whose presence here is a witness, bears witness to the commitment of the government of Mozambique to the future, because future belongs to technology. This forum for Eduardo Mondlane has a symbolic meaning, because this is the space where we really had the cradle of ICTs in Mozambique. Dear guests, it has been 34 years ago, in 81, when we started the ICT Center in Eduardo Mondlane, known as CUEM, as an autonomous entity whose mission was not just to serve the university community, but also to serve and to introduce the ICT in the public sector in Mozambique. And Mozambique has had this as the breeding place where we had to do with all that was linked to data management. Later, the ICT policy adopted by the government of Mozambique came to strengthen the place this institution has in our context. So this justifies the idea that we cannot discuss ICTs in Mozambique without mentioning Eduardo Mondlane University. given its critical role as ICT Center for Eduardo Mondlane University. As time went by, the ICT Center became a national reference because it was the only organic unit which had a wide array of services that included the sale and repair of computers, programming, and consultancy in terms of ICT. At the end of the 80s, we started to have the first rehearsals to establish the electronic communication countrywide, and in 1992, that's when then we successfully managed to have the email connectivity in what was actually the first point of presence of internet in Mozambique, by so doing making Mozambique one of the sub-Saharan African countries to be connected to the global network. Later on, in 1996, then we had the first private providers which actually developed the massification of internet and its expansion countrywide. The objective of bringing together the more people possible, the University of Mondlane in 1997 organized an international conference under the theme towards the information society, which brought together experts from all over the world and high-ranking government officials. One of the key recommendations of that conference was the need to design the ICT policy for Mozambique. The answer did not take long, because on the following year, then we established the commission that was to handle the ICT policy, which had the mission of developing the ICT policy for Mozambique and its implementation strategy. These two key instruments were later approved by the government in 2002, and Eduardo Mondlane University had a key role because it was the experts from the ICT Center and engineering faculty who were the key players in the task forces that were established for that purpose. In that context, it is really worth acknowledging the importance and the reach of the measures undertaken by the government of Mozambique by then to actually go ahead and give priority to the ICT in a moment when so many people thought that we had to concentrate only in the reconstruction of the country, which had just emerged from the civil war, as well as to fight against famine. We were looking to technology. Today, we are all working around technology, and we are changing paradigms towards a more interconnected society through the cyberspace. This social change brought about by ICTs and all tools to it related has allowed us to reduce illiteracy, and people then have to become computer literate and be better able to use ICTs, and this is a trend that is now prevailing worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenges that have to do with bandwidth related to the network of telecommunications have led our university to embark in an advocacy campaign with other internet providers, and we had our hurdles given the resistance and mistrust that existed among some providers. But in the year 2002, we had Mozambique Internet Exchange, which is now hosted in the University of Mondlane. We are pleased to note that despite the problems we faced at the beginning, today MOZ-10 has 16 members, including mobile communication providers and other communication and content providers countrywide. Therefore, hosting this conference in Mozambique is for us a moment of joy, given all the historical background we have in terms of the ICTs and internet in Mozambique. And actually this pays homage to all those who have endeavored and strove hard to ensure that as a country we were to be at this rank, at this level, to share our experience with the renowned experts worldwide in terms of peering and interconnection. We are aware that the challenge of our country in relation to the use of ICTs are quite huge. However, we do believe that with the debates that we will have throughout this week will actually contribute to peering and interconnection in our country, in our continent, and that will actually help us to reduce the costs and access to internet to our peoples. To wind up, we would like to thank Internet Society for having chosen Eduardo Mondlane as a partner to organize this work conference, as well as the workshop that took place in our university. We would like to thank also the organizers, the facilitators, moderators, and the participants. We want to wish you all the best. Those of you who come from elsewhere other than Maputo, we wish you a very good stay in Maputo. Most welcome.
Thank you, Professor Quilambo. I would like now to invite Dr. Emma Chicoco, CEO of National Communications Institute of Mozambique.
Your Excellency, Dr. Manuela, Rebelo, Minister of Transport and Communication, Honorable Chancellor of Eduardo Mondlane University, Orland, Quilambo, Mr. Raúl Echeberría, Deputy President of the Internet Society, Professor Venancio Massingue, representing the Internet community, dear moderators and the speakers, ladies and gentlemen. On the behalf of the National Institute of Communication of Mozambique, the regulatory authority of telecommunication in Mozambique, allow me before all to express my warm welcome to everyone, and also I'd like to thank the invitation that was addressed to us by Eduardo Mondlane University and also by Internet Society. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, the Africa Peering Interconnection Forum of 2015 is going to address lots of challenges of operators and also the other entity aiming at to reduce the costs and the process of the internet in the African continent. Specifically, the iteration of that was going to be discussed here, discussing the different internet networks in separate meeting has the aim to exchange the traffic. This is of volunteer nature and of mutual benefits. It is true that for all of us, this is the appropriate moment for discussion and exchange of important ideas and other aspects related to internet. The experience of South Africa, based on the evolution and also the barrier of distribution, the monitoring of broadband, and also the tools of internet. The National Institute of Communication of Mozambique, as regulator of this internet sector, has the obligation to ensure in a stable way a regulatory environment which has the capacity to respond what has been decided by the government in the area of telecommunication in all levels, allowing the building of the infrastructure of telecommunication in a good perspective. The sector of telecommunication in the country currently is developing in a fast way in all fronts. Thus, there is a need to promote the promotion of new business model that will allow new alliance partnerships, and in all sector, be public and private side. There are different reasons, as I mentioned before, It is important to highlight that the National Institute of Communication of Mozambique, through the Universal Access to Internet, has been giving privilege, expanding of the network of telecommunication in remote areas as a way to create enabling environment for the integrated services of Internet. Ladies and gentlemen, we address to all Internet providers, those who deal with mobile and fixed telephone lines, to give a contribution that will support us in designing strategies and sustainable policies in the telecommunication sector. In a workshop that took place recently, we mentioned that connectivity has to be seen as a human right. Allow me to reiterate this view before you in this forum. The truth is that as we depend on internet for communication, information, business, and other aspects, it becomes clear that without connectivities, this may affect the society and also in the economy of the country. We are for an efficient connectivity to provide internet services in low costs. So this African Peering Interconnection Forum will identify challenges and opportunity of connectivity. I would like to wish everyone present in this meeting good work and thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Chicoco. Before calling Her Excellency Dr. Rebelo for the opening speech, I would like to invite Professor Venancio Massingue, whom all of you, I believe, know as the father of the Internet of Mozambique, and who has a lot of projects for the future of Mozambique as well, to come and say a few words for us.
Honorable Vice Minister of Transport and Communication, my friend, that made a lot of effort to get some time to be here with us. I would like to thank so much. Honorable Chancellor, I think today I'm justifying my salary, my wage. Which I was paid with a lot of laugh. Then I'm going to explain the reason for that. Due to one of the challenges that we're told to tackle with it. My dearest friend, I have no words to thank the effort that you made to be here with us. Not just to regulate, but to make things happen. Deputy President of Internet Society, Mr. Raúl, I got to know him yesterday, but I know that from Internet things are so fast. He has a vision, he has got a lot of strength.
Few people know what you do, but this man has helped a lot. I also want to recognize the presence of all of you. In 1993, when I went to Sao Paulo, Palo Alto, not Sao Paulo, Palo Alto. and with America. You raise a hand, America. America, we were trying to understand what was that thing of internet and what impact will it have for Mozambique also. We have to thank the visionary of that time, George Sadowski, Vince, Randy Bush. These good people who helped us to, and my very good friends, Alan Barrett, Chris Pinkham. I say here in South Africa. They were based in South Africa. Mike Laurie. And my competitor, the University of Zambia. Because 1 week after we launched our internet in Mozambique, they also launched it. But we keep fighting because they said they were the fourth in Africa, and we say we were the fourth in Africa. So I don't know when one will be the fifth in Africa, I don't know, but we are still fighting in that issue. 20 years ago, now it's 2000 and no, some of you will think, but why is now going to 20 years ago, etc.? He looks like you young, but he's speaking like he was old man. But you know, each country, each people has history, and if you don't have a history, you are not a country. So 20 years ago, we were enjoying similar activities, but with different people. I'm very happy to see that some of you who started with us, you are here. The magnificent rector, he said to me, you know what, I have 4 programs that you have to take care of. Not on a daily basis, you have to think of. And one of the program was innovation, entrepreneurship, and youth. The students from university. And I always thought, yeah, how can I make a link between this desire and the existence of internet to move? Magnificent Rector, this meeting happened like a joke. We were told that the Africa Pairing and Interconnection Forum was being planned, and we said Mozambique can do the job. And the decision makers, I don't know who decided, Raúl, maybe you know, they decided to come here. And CIOM is the host. But we know, contrary to what happened in many countries, our government is backing this program. Our government always has backed this program, internet. Just for you to see the experience that the CIOM has. You have a CI, and the top of I, we have a floppy disk, the old style. And you will think, but why these people are still carrying floppy disks? We want to say that UEM, saying in the other words, is the storage, keeps the history of internet. In Mozambique, internet in the world. At this moment, we are doing 3 big activities that we want them to enhance the growth of internet. We did have a meeting in our coalition for the internet development in Mozambique. And in that meeting, you raise a hand, it members. I see Adriano, and I see my friend, you are there, yes. They are members of this coalition. What we are trying to do is to see what are the things that we have to do to make the last mile happen. I remember that 20 years ago we were talking about last mile connection. You know, we were very creative. In Addis Ababa, we even made a resolution. That time we were resolution based, you know, many resolutions. And one resolution we were asking the government of the United States to give a drop off of one of the jet fighter just to dedicate the money for connecting internet in Africa. There was a resolution, a dream. I don't know to whom we're talking because none of those things happened. But we left the room very happy, you know, that if the United States doesn't develop one plane of this fight and they give the money, it will be nice for... We are along the last mile and we identified 8 problems that we think they are needed to solve this problem of last mile. But we decided to concentrate as a coalition in 3 of them. One, we don't like this idea of every time people want to know about the internet penetration in Mozambique, you have to go to outside institutions. We are now developing in-house data and research activity that will allow us to create our local information. And CIUM is leading this project, and we are happy about this. We are also putting emphasis on the issue of sharing of infrastructure. Any form of sharing infrastructure, that's what we want. Adriana, yeah, is the big boss of that issue. I don't know for how long, but it's okay, it's there now. We are discussing. This time we will not make resolutions, we will make recommendations and actions. By the way, on the data issue, we have now managed to submit to our National Institute for Statistics, the body responsible for handling census, etc., a contribution that will allow Mozambique to know more about the usage of internet. And finally, we are dealing with the taxation. We believe that if our students, our universities, our schools, our health centers manage to get cheaper internet, then the penetration will increase. And some of the aspect has to do with the taxation. So we are dealing with different entities. What we want to do in the near future, adding to what we are now talking about, we want to establish the internet chapter in Mozambique. When I say internet chapter, I see most of you putting up the head. That's good. It means we will have support. Yesterday we had a long discussion with the Vice President and his team. Governance of internet is another subject that we are putting in place. The IGF concept. Coming back to the challenge that Magnifico Rector wants, we want also to departure on establishing the brains of Turkey in Mozambique, the young people. we want to start a program that continuously will build, will identify the young people who can influence our IT development programs. Before I end, according to the information I received from my friend, the Vice President, all the world is here today. This week, all the world is here. All the continents are here. We want to make a call and to tell you that among other projects that you may know about our countries, like oil, gas, agriculture, we want to ask your contribution for these programs. Do you have contribution and experience? Now, when I say the contribution, Vice President, I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about ideas and your time, availability. The internet culture that we had 20 years ago was very nice, because I could not have had money to pay people like Alan Barrett, who is now the Afrinic CEO. I will not have money to pay Randy Bush. They are very expensive people, very competent. But we want you to join our program and spend 6 months, 3 months in Mozambique working with us. So we have a volunteer program to get people with no salary. Of course, we have food, all these things we have, but we need your expertise to help us, to work with us, and you transmit our experience. I'm very sorry that Dawit gave me few minutes, but I think I was a little bit more. But this issue is a passion for me, and I'm sure that with the presence of all of you joining what is happening in the country, internet will move more faster. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Massingue. I know Professor Massingue for a long time. I met him, I think, 10 years ago, and I realized that his passion, his vision, and even his humor has increased and not lessened. So that is good. I would like to invite now Her Excellency Dr. Manuela Rebelo, Vice Minister of Transport and Communication, to give us the formal opening speech.
Good morning. I think we don't have much to say now. Professor Massingue has said almost everything. But let's just try to say some few words. Honorable Chancellor of Eduardo University, Professor Orlando Quilambo, Honorable President of CEO of the Institute of Comunicaçoes of Moçambique, Honorable Deputy President of the Internet Society, Echeberría, Mr. Echeberría, Mr. Representative of the Internet Society, Professor Venancio Massingue, Representative of the Ministry of Transport and Communication, dear moderators and facilitator, dear technician of the National Institute of Communication of Mozambique, distinguished guests, allow me, on the behalf of the government of Mozambique and on the behalf of the Ministry of Transport and Communication, to address our warm welcome to all the participants in the Africa Peering and Interconnection Forum 2015. My special welcome and goes to all the organizers of this event and also the Eduardo Mondlane University by the devotion in the creation of all logistic conditions in order to host this important event, which is associated to the Ministry of Transport and Communication, which also coincides with the celebration of the 4th years of the independence of Mozambique that is meaningful to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the process of registration of SIM card, and we hope that this has to be finalized as early as possible. And we're also in the process of migrating to the digital process in order to improve our services. The adequation of the regulation law, considering all the reforms of technology in the last years, with more spatial to the expanding of network, that is another challenge for us. There is also another aspect which is also very important, the system of telecommunication with mobile and internet, which should reduce the diversity of infrastructures in the telecommunication area and also wireless telecommunication, internet, and its protocol. It is our desire that this regional spectrum may reduce in Africa in general, and also in SADC region and spatial, so that this can be in better conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, there are a lot of challenges that we still have to tackle, but we can only overcome if we continue to act together in harmonized way. In this way, I would like to highlight the role and the importance of the African Peering Interconnection Forum 2015, which was conceived to address the main challenges and opportunities in the interconnection peering, looking at internet in our continent. This platform helps in the internet platforms and also the service so that the African service may grow. In the last 5 years, the African Peering and Interconnection Forum has had a very positive impact in the interconnection of internet and also the way of exchange of traffic in Africa through sharing of ideas and capacity building and linkage. We saw a visible growth and also initiative that has conducted to harmonize and the extension of the quality of interconnection in the national level as well as the regional level. In the country, there are, among others, 2 mobile operators with more than 18 million clients. There are units of transmitting of data and also internet service provider. The fact of having chosen Mozambique to host this meeting, as was mentioned, the president of the Institute, this is to make this appropriate place to discuss important information about interconnection. Just to terminate, we would like to reiterate our special gratitude to Family of Internet by having received the recommendation of the government due to their process in the last years, and we hope that all the knowledge and the ideas that will be gathered will be shared in this meeting will contribute for the decision-taking processes of the communication sector. We are committed for the development of the country. Thus, let's take the best practice of interconnection and its regulation to our guests is, don't just participate in this forum, but take the opportunity to to visit our beautiful city of Mozambique and also enjoy our cookery with more focus, especially to our seafood. It's with a great pleasure that I have the honor to declare the opening of this African Peering Interconnection Forum 2015. And for the attention, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I would like to take a few more minutes from your time for something that we believe is important. I'm sure you agree with me that everything is very smooth. I think many of you have been able to get in the country very easily, and the facilities are very fine, etc. This couldn't be possible without a very dedicated local host, which is the University of Mondlane. And we'd like to recognize that with a token of recognition that I would like to invite our Vice President, Raúl Echeberría, to come and give to the Rector, Professor Quilambo. Thank you. Photos. Thank you. The session is finished. It's completed.